Good morning, all. I'm Charlene Larsen, and we're on the stage of the PAC. It's referred to now as the Charlene Larsen Center for the Performing Arts. That is a humbling experience to have a building and a facade and a venue named after you. But there was a lot of hard work that went into this becoming a community performance space. It was Trinity Lutheran Church, and built in the 30s. There is history abounding in the walls. And what we have attempted to do since 2011, 2012 is to partner with Clatsop Community College to be sure that this venue, this space, which some refer to as holy ground, be continued as a community venue for the performing arts. It's a place where you can come and rehearse with a band, a chorale, an orchestra, an opera company, all of the folks that are partners with us. There's an opportunity for rehearsal, an opportunity for personal growth, and an opportunity to perform before an audience. Capacity, now in COVID times, about 100, but in better times, 225. So what we have accomplished in that time since about 2012 is organizations that are partners, such as the North Coast Symphonic Band, have rehearsed in this space, as have different iterations of the North Oregon Coast Symphony. So over the years, this has been home to many performing arts groups. It's also a home to something that's quite unique, an Estey 1429 organ. The organ that we have and the pipes behind me came from the Selwood district of Portland, Oregon, from Dr. John Selwood's home. Came down in the 30s on a barge and was installed in Trinity Lutheran Church by the congregation upon the completion of the building. It is a powerful organ. It is 2/3 restored, and our focus over the years has been to continue that restoration for the organ. If you know anything about them, the chorale piece or rank is what still needs to be restored. And we've had different estimates on what that will take and how long it would be, but I think when you hear pieces from this particular video and you hear the organ being played, you know it's robust. The other things that we've done over time, in addition to maintaining the performance space and the lighting and the stage, is upgrading what needed to be done in the way of restoration. So the Clatsop Community College restoration class with Lucian Swerdloff has done some window workshops and done window restoration in the building. We're also looking at protecting and preserving the stained glass windows to make sure nothing catastrophic occurs to them. We've also done restoration of roofing on all the flat roof pieces in order to keep the wind and weather and rain out, and a restoration and reconstruction of the technical room that provides that support for our lighting and our sound and our instruments. Ongoing are other projects as far as water incursion, repairing things where water got in, and redoing carpets and flooring and that sort of thing. I'd like you to meet our executive director of the Charlene Larsen Center for the Performing Arts. It's my pleasure to introduce Berenice Jones Centeno. She's our executive director part-time, but I know she puts in more than just part-time hours. But we're moving forward in becoming kind of real in the world of nonprofits, with the idea that we actually have an executive director, we have a board, we have our nonprofit status that we established in 2017. So I'd like Berenice to kind of tell you about the partners in Partners for the PAC.
Exactly.
Who are those people?
So the Partners for the PAC are about 8 groups who have the responsibility and the great privilege of using this building all day, every day. Whenever this building is open, it's because we have Partners for the PAC. There are 8 different groups that use the building regularly. That is the North Coast Big Band, the North Coast Symphonic Band, North Coast Chorale, North Oregon Coast Symphony, Cascadia Chamber Opera, KMUN Coast Community Radio, and AA, A Way of Life. 8 groups that use this building to rehearse, to present performances, to have meetings, and then they also are responsible for helping to maintain the building through membership. These groups bring in folks from the community. All of them are friends and family that you probably know, and they come in once a week or more and do rehearsals and meetings, and then they perform. In addition to the Partners for the PAC, there is a group called the Board of Directors, which is made up of members from the partner groups, as well as people in the community who just want to support. The other really important part of my job is to kind of help keep this building going. So I have a duty of helping us with grant writing, along with other partner members who are also doing that sort of thing. I also help Charlene when it comes to having board meetings. My other duty is to help with our relationship in the community. And during a time like right now where we're dealing with things like COVID-19 and that pandemic, my job is to help people in the community understand our relationship with our state and to make sure that people are safe when they come in the door. So I help with organizing those bits and pieces, in addition to a regular executive director's job. I'm really grateful to be a part of this organization because I was really lucky when this whole thing started for me in 2009. I happened to come up from Eugene, Oregon as a member of the Astoria Music Festival to help out with the apprentice program. This was the location that the Astoria Music Festival used to create their performances for the apprentice students. I fell in love with this building and was blown away with how much space is here. Downstairs, there are classrooms, dressing rooms. On this floor, you have a wonderful performance venue, complete with lighting, complete with a screen for projection. We have a balcony, we have a sound booth. We have all of this material here, and it's part of my duty to help maintain those things. We have a long way to go, but there's a lot here already in place. So that's another part of my job, to help make sure that folks are aware of what we have here, and then also to make sure that we create the funds so that these things can be maintained. And eventually, my other job is to think about what kinds of things do we have to get done now? How does our board get to the place of getting these things done? And then more importantly, how many ways can our community support us? And how do we help our community understand what's needed here? There are people for whom this size venue of about 200 people or less during the COVID times, where that number of people in the audience is appropriate for their ensemble or for their solo work or for their meetings. We have a big sister in town, the Liberty Theater, and she's a much larger, the Grand Lady, she's much larger than we are. And some of our audiences need to be in a smaller group. Some of our performers want to have a more intimate ensemble or an intimate audience, and we're appropriate for them because we are a little bit smaller.
What we appreciate about the building itself and the restoration work that's gone on is the partnership with Clatsop Community College and the restoration class and Lucian Swerdloff, and with the Lower Columbia Preservation Society, how supportive you've been in that process of restoration and making sure that, stained glass is preserved as it should be. And those other tips on, how you make a venue, a building, a historic building, last as long as the community is viable and willing to come through the doors. It's a building, it's a history, it was a church, it's now, and some of us refer to it, holy ground for the performing arts, but truly a venue that reaches out to the community, invites you to come in and perform, rehearse, be part of the audience, and be supportive of what still needs to be done in the way of restoration. So again, welcome to the stage of the Performing Arts Center, and come in the doors sometime and look around and see what you see.